all of my wonderful friends out there in the Twitch land, all of you not watching Critical Role. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Oh, that's right. They're going
Critical Role is tonight, so yeah, that's great fun. Anyway, welcome to Party of Two, where a married couple takes on a world of gods and monsters. I am your GM for the evening, Hayley Bell. Sitting across from this beautiful table from me is...
There's someone sitting... I'm the only person here.
I know.
Oh, you're talking about me! Hi!
Yeah, the table was beautiful. I wasn't describing you.
This table's beautiful.
If I was going to describe you, it would be hunky, handsome, sexy as all get out.
I like that better. All right. I am Weston.
You're like, hey, there's other people here, just so you know.
No, this is awkward.
I am the other half of Party of Two, and tonight I'll be playing as, of course, the Aasimar Cleric Sorcerer.
And Weston is also our technical support, so if you have any problems, if
like
sound
the fact
is weird,
that there's no dragons right now.
Yeah, I was about that kind of the segue I was about to go into, is we have no dragons. It's fine. Anyway, we are joined this week once again by the amazing, the illustrious, the parents of the North, Abby and Dave from Tomes of the Chaos Bard. Introduce your guys' selves and what you do and all that jazz.
All that jazz. Okay. As Hayley said, we are David and Abby. I'm the DM for Tomes of the Chaos Bard, a family-friendly podcast with original music, and we just released an episode last week. Yes. In a homebrew 5e actual play. Very fun.
Yep, and David is the GM, and Abby is one of the characters, and it's super, super fun.
I play Henry on the podcast, the emotionally transpondent ranger.
And she's very relatable and super fun. I like her a lot. Okay, so just a couple of announcements before we get started. I am going to be making an appearance on a podcast for the first time ever, literally ever. This is a no visual podcast. So like I don't have to get done up. Like I just sit down and I get to play. Like
that's bonus.
Who does that? Oh wait, you guys do.
Get to wear jammies.
I know. I'm very excited about that.
Jammies and have like my soda pop, my Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
I mean, I always have my soda with me. I can't not with the Diet Coke. Like I just can't.
That's Game Gear Master Jake on?
Oh, Jake, is that Jake?
We have not seen Jake in a while.
Hello, Jake.
Hello, Jake. How are you, dear? Have you been on since we did the dragons?
I don't think he has.
I don't think you've been on. Enjoy your dragon, Jake. It's very fun. You can change them too in the about section. Anyway, so I'm going to be on a no visual podcast, a hearing only podcast.
Are podcasts visual?
Some of them are. Huh. A lot of them are now, where you can watch them on YouTube or you can listen to them on. Okay, we are getting so distracted.
What podcast is it?
Okay, so it's Rules Lord. And it is a Pathfinder 2nd edition actual play where we try out and test homebrewed content. So homebrewed settings, homebrewed character, or not characters, but like
classes
and character builds.
Like all characters are homebrewed.
I know, technically. So like homebrewed classes and stuff. I'm going to be playing a fisticuffs individual. So it's kind of like a barbarian, but I don't have weapons. Right? Yeah. Or is it more like a fighter? And
it's like a fighter a street fighter. Yeah. So it's not a monk. It's a fighter.
I think that's a really cool idea to do. Like, I know we play D&D, but to do a monk, but they're a street fighter. So
this one's
the way of ninja.
The way of the ninja.
1, 2, 5.
Yeah, but like this one's not a monk class. So that's the part that's going to be interesting about it.
Yeah, so it's a fighter class with more of a melee fisticuffs kind of thing. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to be in that. I am not sure when that releases, but we're recording tomorrow, so I will let you guys all know when that releases. Do we have any other announcements?
No.
We are actually, I do want to say this. We are coming up on our 1 year streaming anniversary.
We are.
Congratulations.
I know. It's very exciting. So we are going to do something very kind of big and fun. We might do a charity stream or something like that in May for our 1 year anniversary. We've actually hit our 1 year anniversary of us recording because we recorded 4 episodes before we streamed live.
Yes, that's true.
So it's kind of crazy. We realized that yesterday.
We go ahead and looked at the dates on our files, and it's like,
oh my gosh, it's been a year. How is that even possible? So we're going to be doing a really fun thing in May for that. And we're going to get all dressed up in our finery and have everything going. The library will be decorated.
Aww.
It's going to be fun. Okay. Anyway, I think that's it.
We did hit a milestone this week too. We just hit 10,000 downloads.
Yay!
Yeah.
I saw that on Twitter. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That is huge. I think we just hit 100 downloads on our podcast.
Well, it'd help if we posted.
It would help if I posted ever.
Yes, that would help.
That is so awesome, though. That is a huge milestone. You guys are doing a giveaway, right?
We did.
Oh, we did. Okay. Oh, yeah, it was the bags, and I didn't win.
Yeah, I know. You can still buy one. And she does free customizations.
Oh, that's awesome. You make one for Anna. All right, so I think that is everything for our announcements tonight. Weston, would you please run the intro? Welcome back. So last week we had a wonderful encounter with our band of intrepid adventurers, which I feel like I shouldn't say.
No, you shouldn't.
Because no. Okay. But our little party here, we got into a little bit of a fight with a Hell Knight, 2 of her minions, or her, peon people, and a demon called forth from the underworld. Through that fight,
we dominated.
Yes, you did. You guys dominated intensely. After killing all of the bad guys except for the main Hell Knight, who, through a strategic move, decided to flee, entered a wizard who Az had been very excited to see, but during that fight, Anna was banished to a place unknown to them at the time, and our wonderful friend Flint was blinded.
Yeah. Yes.
I forgot about that. That's true.
Yep. Once the wizard showed up and the Hell Knight took off, those very quickly portaled to the island where the City of Promise was waiting for, as well as a promise that they would be able to find where Anna was. Through a scrying that the wizard Lamond did, they figured out that Anna was in the cave system back at Citadel Inferak with all of the gateways into the other planes.
Worst place.
Yeah, the worst place freaking ever. Once they discovered that, Az said, I need to sleep. and get rest, and they all went back to the tavern or inn that Clara and Flint own. Well, no, Clara owns. Flint works at. He's just a janitor. At that time, Az had a dream where the goddess Pharasma appeared to him and told him in no uncertain terms to not let Anna sacrifice herself for the wrong reasons. Which she didn't really specify what the wrong reasons were. Yeah. So we wake.
Cryptic gods.
We know how Weston feels about that.
Weston's not, well, Az is not necessarily a big fan of the gods either. So
no.
So we open on this morning. You guys have all rested. We're waking to the sun coming in through the windows of the inn, and the day has begun. What would you like to do?
The morning has begun.
Flinty's going to grab his maul and put his mop attachment on the end of the maul and start scrubbing the floors because the one who is taking care of the janitorial duties did not do a good job.
Oh, so he thinks.
So I think. She uses a normal mop and a broom. You can't clean that with that. You got to have some weight to it.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, how many people / how did we get the word out to the folks so we can do a siege, I guess, of Citadel Empire?
Oh yeah, collecting followers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, this is a city kind of based on a utopia, so any of their like guards or whatnot, there's not very many of them, and many of them that are there that reside in the city are sent out on missions just like yours. So you'd kind of have to go and find someone. There is a guardhouse that you can go to kind of get a status of like where everybody is and whatnot.
Because I know that Flinty did do some. Well, we had said that Clara had sent him out to go find people. Did you want us to do a roll, or how do you want to work that?
What do you want to roll for?
So, trying to right. Trying to gather people, because I'm sure right after we left Az and started heading to the tavern, Flinty was just going around and be like, "Hello, my name's Flinty Lightstone. My friends call me Flinty. You can call me Flinty. We're trying to go save our friend."
Okay.
What was her name again?
Well, I mean, it was pretty late that night, so I mean, you guys would have gone straight back. So
yeah, and while we were in the tavern too, anybody that came into it,
Flinty
would be trying to get.
Yeah, more than likely that type of information would be available with the guards, and like who's currently available, and where they are, whatever. Because most of the people that you would interact with on a daily basis aren't going to be people who are educated in fighting.
Right, Flinty wouldn't necessarily care. He'd be like, "Come, everybody, come! The more the merrier."
Then I would say in the morning before Flinty started mopping, Clara went to the guardhouse to kind of post some sort of details.
Okay, so the guardhouse is going to be on the west side of the city itself. So when you're looking down on it from a bird's eye view, like the port is like southwest of like where you guys came up and over the hill. So you'll have to go to the west of the city. Once you would get there, there's going to be like a handful of guards that are kind of there, but it's like you live in a small town. It's like when you go into the sheriff's office and like everybody's just kind of sitting around drinking coffee. Like nobody's really doing anything.
Yeah. I also left Flinty a note telling him what I was doing.
Okay, cool. Well, so when you enter in, you've got one guard in front of you and another like 2 guards kind of hanging out in the back. It looks like they might be playing cards, but they're all basically chilling out. So there is a community board on the far side if you want to ask questions or if you want to get any information. That front guard definitely looks at you when you come in, and he would know you. And so he's just kind of like, hello, hi, Clara, you're back. You're back, Clara.
Yes, very quickly this time.
Much faster than last time. Last time you were gone for like 2 weeks. We weren't sure if you were ever coming back, and then there was like that whole very good to see you again.
It is good to see you as well. We are looking for some support for an extraction mission.
Extraction, you see him kind of sit up a little bit like, whoa, that's not a word we normally use around here very often.
No.
So what kind of extraction?
A person.
A person.
They are in Citadel Infrac.
You see his eyes. You see his eyes get like huge. Because Citadel Infrac is very well known. It's kind of like the Kremlin, where everybody knows what the Kremlin is. So he's kind of like,
What's the Kremlin?
Are you serious right now?
No.
I'm gonna throw something at your face. Dave, do you not know what the Kremlin is either?
I don't.
It is the
Okay,
White
never
House
mind.
of Russia.
Yeah, it's the White House
okay.
in Russia. It's where the KGB was situated. It's like the...
Okay, the first thing I thought was a gremlin, just an alternate gremlin. So I was like, no, maybe some offshoot one. Like Care Bears and My Little Pony. Just same show, just different.
No, it's
I want to create that.
I know,
creature.
now I want
I now
that.
want to go homebrew that so badly.
Hey, you're GMing next. You can totally throw that into the mix. So he's definitely like, whoa. Okay, so hold on. So wait, you need so an extraction team to go to Citadel Infrac.
Yes.
Okay, so he turns around and he starts flipping through some files that like he pulls out a drawer and he starts flipping through a couple of files that he's got because fantasy, there are files and there are drawers that hold files. It's super fun. He pulls out a couple and he's like, okay, so here's a list. Here's the list of the people that we currently have that are on island, and he hands you that, and it has a couple of fighters and a few a couple of mages as well that have been used for the more military heavy missions that get sent out. And then he goes to a different drawer and he starts flipping through all of those and he pulls out another 3 or 4 and he's like, and these are the people that are off island right now. So first pile on island, second pile off island, and he kind of pushes both of them towards you and he says, so are you doing like a full scale assault?
Hopefully not. I'm hoping the bond can teleport us at least in this cave system underneath Infrac, but who knows? Or, I mean, there's also portals down there, according to some information we just got. So maybe we could go through another realm into But this is hush hush. We cannot.
I would never. I would like you to roll a diplomacy check for me, please.
I'm good at those.
How hush hush is
It's like, let's see how hush hush this card's gonna be. His name is Ben, by the way.
He's an insider.
And that's a 13 plus 15.
Oh.
Okay.
Whatever
28.
math.
So it's a 28. Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that works.
It's not
He
enough,
kind of
though.
no, it's he nods and he says, well, if you're dealing with Citadel Infrac, I imagine it's pretty hush hush. We're definitely not going to want to talk about it here. And you see, he kind of smiles a little bit. So there's like this feeling that he might be quiet about it.
And if I hear from anyone else that you spoke, that would not be good for you.
I would never, ever speak about a mission of yours, Clara. You are straight-laced. You are right there. Okay, so
I'll send Flinty to clean your station again.
There might be discounted drinks involved if you don't speak.
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
That just dropped the DC there.
maybe a little bit. Okay, so he kind of hands you those, and if there's anything else you want, he gets kind of point at the board and says, if you wanted to put it on the board, there are community members who might be interested in doing it. And
I did bring a poster that I wrote up last night, but I believe that the mission is urgent, and we might be leaving before it's gotten suitable notice.
Oh. Okay. Well. Okay. So if anybody comes in that I think is maybe suitable for
send them right to my place.
I will send them there. I know I'm not the best person on the planet. I'm gonna be honest. I know I'm whatever, but you could need use of someone to watch your back maybe, or and he kind of leans forward a little bit.
With me.
It would keep him quiet if he was with us.
I am definitely not flirting. That would be inappropriate and a disrespectful move on my part. But I'm just saying, if you want to, I could come and hold your bags. And he kind of just shuts up.
Sure, but there is, we are going to Empharac. There is a chance you could die.
Well, yeah.
If you are okay with those terms, then please come, hold my bags. You can hold my shield until I need it.
When are you leaving?
I don't know yet.
Oh.
Hopefully within today or tomorrow.
Okay. I will let you know. And he kind of just puts his hands trying to act authoritative, yeah. Macho.
Much on my plate. I have to see if I can rearrange a few things.
My schedule. I need to check my schedule.
I put the poster on the wanted board,
okay.
The
community board over there,
and then head back to the tavern.
Okay, awesome.
In place.
You're
Solemn Sanctum.
Yeah, the Solemn Sanctum. The inner sanctum of the entire operation. Okay. If you know that movie, you rock. Okay, cool. So you're back at the inn at this point. What are you doing?
So, Az wakes up, and of course he has to prepare his spells.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets up, kind of pops his back a little bit, kind of bad night of sleep. He was kind of curled up in the corner. The wings were only there for 10 minutes because then they go away. So he was kind of oh crap.
For anyone who is watching this, he fell asleep with the wings wrapped around his body. It's very sweet.
So sad.
I know. Okay. Yeah.
But then he is going to. So he sits there and he kind of prepares, his spell, and then he is actually going to cast one of those spells, right off the bat.
Surprise.
He prepared during the night the spell of sending.
Mm-hmm.
It has a range of the whole freaking planet.
As long as it's on the material plane, baby.
Yep. Target one creature with whom you are familiar. You send the creature a mental message of 25 words or fewer, and it can respond immediately with its own message of 25 words or fewer. I swear, this is like a cantrip in D&D. It's a 5th level spell. And
I know. And
it's a 3rd level spell.
is it 3rd level? Okay.
They have a lower one that's message, but it's not. It's within
120 feet.
120 feet.
oh, geez,
Indeed.
that's like yours
Yeah, I've got message.
Yeah.
Pathfinder, though, you have to be able to
You have to see
the person.
them.
Yeah, you have to see them.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Fun.
So Az is going to cast this spell, and he's gonna sit there. Let me see. What is my? Is this a 3? Oh, it's a material component on this one as well. So Az is going to. I didn't think about what the material component would be for this one. So he's gonna pull into his bag. He's gonna pull out a. He's gonna pull out a note. He's going to pull out a piece of paper. He writes on it her name. And then he is going to take the note and he's going to eat it.
Okay.
And as he eats it, the magic reacts. And as he thinks on her name and thinks of her eating the paper with her name written on it, suddenly the spell activates. And it sends out his thoughts across the material plane down into the depths of Enfrak. And he says, Anna, this is as I know that you are in Enfrak, that you are in the caves. We are coming. Stay safe. Stay hidden. Respond. I forgot to say you can respond to this message.
You can respond to this message. There's a pause. And you have the distinct sense that your message was received. And
Anna hates message.
oh, she kind of does.
Anyway.
But in this case, you hear back, Az, is that you? And then there's a pause where she's realizing she probably doesn't have all of the many words she wants to say. She said, I'm in the dock with Bruce. I'm okay. I miss you and your halo. Come quick. And then nothing.
All right. I think I'll only burn one for the moment.
Okay.
And then after that, Az will immediately get up, kind of brush himself off. He didn't change out of his clothes. He's still fully dressed. And he's going to just walk out the door there, because he's at the inn, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's at the inn with Clara and Flinty.
He's going to walk out the door and just start calling out, Clara, Flint, where are you?
I'm out here!
Am I still gone?
I think probably with how long it takes him to do all of these things, you're probably like returning.
Yeah, it's an hour to...
Yeah, it takes him an
Get
hour to
prepped.
do all of this stuff. So you're probably returning at this point back to the inn. So you're probably in hearing distance if he's like shouting it to the wind.
I'm shouting it out.
We're
Flinty.
downstairs. Do you need us to come up?
No, I can walk. He just comes down the stairs real quick. We need to get back to the tower.
Yes, I put a bulletin on the bulletin board at the guard station. And what was it, Bobby?
Ben.
Ben also volunteered to come.
Oh, Benny?
Yes, Ben.
I love Benny.
He offered to carry my bags.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder if he'll carry my stuff too.
That's great.
Yeah, he's a normal god, but more people the better.
Well, he could be a good distraction.
But we don't want to get him killed
But-
either.
That is true.
One thing we need to understand. If we have to assault, we are all dead.
Yes. We
Oh,
need to
it's
do
quiet.
This is
Covertly.
Okay.
Covertly. Excuse me.
so we need to the teleportation has to work, or we have to figure out the gates because we cannot assault Sister Infrak,
No, definitely not.
or we'll die. So
Not unless we have bring Ninkari with us, which is
Oh my god.
not highly unlikely.
I would question the entire citadel with every signifier there. Maybe there are those there that are almost as old as Lemon. So let us be stealthy and
Yes.
not make noise. But we must go
Definitely.
and talk to Lemont if we are going to get there.
Okay. Good idea. I'm gonna leave the mop on the head so it'll be a
first-
stealthy moppy.
First, Flinty, go grab some breakfast on the go for Az, please.
Yes, ma'am.
You must keep up your strength.
Okay.
Kind of nods, kind of like, fine, I'll eat. Kind of like Hayley does in the mornings.
I know.
Yeah.
So bad.
Who needs food in the morning?
So what food do you give me?
Where's the disposable plates?
All right. So, Fuji, you can head back into the kitchen. What,
I
Clara, what
imagine-
kind of food do you have there at your inn?
I imagine there's some hard rolls left over from the dinner before, and some like dry meat. You could just slice some off,
Oh, okay. Some
And,
salted meats
and some
it's a
cheese.
charcuterie board.
Yeah, and some cheese. Like
See, it's a
nothing special.
charcuterie board.
Charcuterie board.
but
Cool.
medieval style,
Yes. On the go.
on the go.
All right. Once you have that, you guys can head out. It doesn't take very long to get to the tower itself. It's fairly close, since everything is fairly close in this little city. You get to the tower itself, and you go to the front door. And do what?
I knock.
Okay. There's no
Maybe-
response.
Maybe he's still asleep.
He might be. It's early and he's old.
Wait, where's his window? I'll wake him up.
Are you actually asking that?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and go find his window.
Okay, so you can give me a an intelligence check.
Ooh, I think at actually my level, I don't have to see them anymore.
If not, I can cast light at 30 feet away.
I can cast my message at 500 feet.
Okay, that was.
So are you
probably
wanting
more.
to send
So
a
since
message
I know,
to?
yes. So I
Okay,
just,
come on.
I'm on!
Lemond, wake up. Wake up now. Are you awake?
What do you want?
A teleportation circle.
Who is this?
This is Az. Azamir, you brought me from Kintargo yesterday.
And he kind of looks out his window, and he can
We
hear
all wave.
he can hear Flinty and see you.
Come
And he's like,
on!
all right, just a minute. And his head disappears out of the window, and it's another like 10 minutes maybe. You get the feeling that he might be taking his merry little time.
Oh,
coming.
Don't worry, guys. I woke him up.
also
I woke
brought
him up.
some
He's getting
leftover
ready.
stew in a bowl that he can heat up with like a firebolt or something.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Firebolt. I'm gonna
I like
look
it.
for
I like
firebolt,
it.
yeah.
So he finally, you hear the click, 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 click of like locks being undone and
As if you need locks in a utopian
I
society.
know, right? Exactly.
If you're Lamont, you
The
do.
wizard does,
no
though.
locks.
He has dangerous components.
He
in his house.
does, and he doesn't want any little children getting involved with the dangerous things. So he opens the door and he kind of like blurrily ushers all of you into the front room to sit down. And once you're in, he kind of takes his position. He's wrapped up in like this really beautiful, well-crafted, but highly eclectic looking robe. Lots of different colors. It looks a little bit like the robe of many colors from Joseph, the Technicolor Dreamcoat thing. But he's got it all wrapped up around him, and he sits down in his little chair that's really close to the fire, and he just looks over at the fireplace and kind of flicks his finger, and a fire suddenly shows up.
I set his suit on the mantle.
Is that what I think it is?
It most definitely is. I know how you are in the morning.
Did you happen to bring rolls?
I pop out 2 rolls.
Thinking ahead.
I mean, they're day old, but
That's fine. I've definitely eaten worse than day-old bread. And he gets up and goes over to the mantle and takes the stew and kind of like lifts the little whatever makeshift lid and sniffs it. And he's like,
That
and he
growl.
turns.
Az looks at the because did you give Az stew or did he have the charcuterie board?
no,
I
I
had
just
the
gave
charcuterie
you
board.
cheese and bread and
Looks at his charcuterie board.
Hey,
looks back at
John.
the stew. He's
you
kinda like,
had to eat on the go.
And so Levon takes the stew and like kind of you see
I
him
feel like a mom right now.
a little bit.
We know who your favorite child is.
He got more than me.
Mama, he
no,
got 2 crackers more than I got.
no, I can just see it. Lamont's eating his stew, and then suddenly he looks over at Az's stuff, grabs one of his crackers.
Yeah, no, he has two rolls. He's fine. So he takes the stew and he kind of like does. You can see him do like a little spell, and like this purplish like flare comes off of his hands, and the stew levitates and goes over and is on top of the fire that's going. So he just kind of leaves it there for a minute, and then he goes and wraps back up and sits back down. He says, "Oh, okay. So what are we doing this morning?"
We need to teleport to Imfarak. Do you remember?
Oh, yes, black portals, gates.
Anna.
Yes, I remember that. And you see, like, as it kind of comes back to him a little bit, he sits up and he's like, you can see he kind of goes into more of a, we're getting to business mode. Okay. So here's the deal. The portals that I can do can teleport us from a place without a teleportation circle to a place with a teleportation circle. And he's looking at Az and explaining this. So if I'm to teleport us from here, then it would be to a place that has a teleportation circle. I can't just teleport wherever I want to willy-nilly, unfortunately. It's not how magic works. So, we can go to Citadel Infarak, because they have teleportation circles. I don't think that's a good idea.
We would not be well received.
Probably not, considering what you had said previously about your history with the Citadel. The
And
other...
the Hell Knight we almost killed.
True. Which, who knows where she is. She probably went back to her Citadel. Went to her
Yes.
base. wherever that is. So we could go back to Kintargo and then travel down, and he consults some notes for a moment. While he's consulting some notes for a moment. Hold on. You can talk amongst yourselves if you wish while he consults his notes for a moment.
We're just gonna watch you.
Hey,
As he's sitting there, just kind of tapping.
Yes, Flinty, what is it?
do you think I could get one of his robes like his? They look very comfortable. Except I don't think I want them so flashy.
They'd get dirty.
You could purchase one. I'm sure someone in town would make you one.
I'm gonna have to ask who the designer was. It looks very comfy.
Yes, they're very comfortable. Little too flashy though, as you said.
Yeah, kind
But it's
of.
perfect for Lamont.
Yeah, Lamont, La Myth, La Legend.
It's true. There are many legends about me, Flinty. That's what happens when you live for 1,000 years. So, there are, in Kintargo, just a handful of places to teleport. One is Vire, which I don't think you want to go to. That's farther north than what you want. There's Kintargo itself, of course. There's White Rock that has a small teleportation circle. It's not used very often.
So how did you get to Kintargo to come get me?
I went to the teleportation circle in Kintargo.
Okay, so we have to go to Kintargo and travel to Emfarak on foot?
Or we could go to White Rock, which is slightly closer.
You said we could also potentially go through another plane.
Yes,
Through
so
a portal.
yes. So that's another thing. I could open a gate to another plane, and like you said, that there are gates in where she is, in the caves, I guess. She could activate that gate, and then we could walk through it. Or she could walk through the gate.
She does not have the magical aptitude to activate that gate.
Well,
Question. Do you think Citadel Infrarak would recognize if one of the gates were turned on? Like a magical surge or anything like that?
I would. Do I need to do an Arcana check?
give me an Arcana check.
It's a very good thought.
Because if we're trying to go covertly...
All right, skills, Arcana. That's a 28.
You're pretty sure that someone might be able to feel it, but with the level of magic that is running in that place all the time, and with the surges that happen because of the teleport or because of the summonings, you think it probably wouldn't go noticed, especially with the gate to hell that's already open all the time.
I can reactivate the gates, but I would need a second caster who can assist with that.
Well, and he kind of looks around a little bit and says, "Are you asking me?"
I imagine that if you're casting the spell, you have to come.
Well, I mean, I can teleport you without coming.
But you can't get us back here.
That is also correct. So...
Lamont is still waking up.
a little bit. I mean, he's 1,000 years old. Give him a little bit of a break.
I will give the GM, the spell of teleportation, actually you can spend a higher amount of money, and you can't leave it open for a two-way travel.
That's true. I was reading about that. That is correct. 3 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't sleep. What do you do when you can't sleep? I look up Pathfinder, son.
I play Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Okay, that sounds like a very much funner use of your time.
I stare at the wall.
I just sleep.
Shut up!
Yeah,
Just like
shut up.
rubbing it in.
I just sleep.
Jeez.
Slap you, men.
I know.
I don't know
Anyway.
what this whole state
I'm grateful they can sleep though, so that we can sleep in.
I
At
know,
least on the
right?
weekends, you're like, go take care of breakfast.
I
I'm gonna
would-
sit here and sleep and play on my phone
Yeah.
while you take care of the children.
Although I start work at 5:30 a.m. So.
I know that's true. You were always up.
David, 6:30.
6.
Oh, 6, sorry.
But the as is kind of so how would you? The question is which plane, because there are 3 that were more intact. That was there by the in the main area. Axis, the Maelstrom, and the Boneyard.
Ha! That's the one. Pharasma's her patron, isn't? Well, not patron, but
Yeah,
god.
yeah. Pharasma is very interested in honor.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Is ever being the gods being that interested in you a good thing?
Sometimes it's wonderful. You get big parties and lots of drink, and they last for hundreds of years. It's wonderful.
Az looks at him. Can I do an insight check there?
Yes, you can.
Perception roll.
Go ahead. Do a
It's only a 6, so that's 22 is all.
He seems genuine. He seems like he's being honest about it, so maybe. You don't know.
Did something happen that made you change your mind? You weren't so sure last time we spoke
Sure of what?
that honor was truly favored.
Oh no, I've known that shoes. When you have avatars of the deity come to you, it's pretty apparent. Then,
she's had really.
yeah.
And he kind of leans forward and he's a little bit more fascinated, and you see that same purplish flicker, and the stew comes over to him, and he picks up the roll and he starts dabbing it in the stew, and he starts eating it like almost like popcorn, where it's like you're just like, ooh, what's happening? He's like, oh, this is interesting.
Please tell me more.
Good. So as he's eating that, he's kind of just looking at you and says, What are you involved in? I know you told me all of the stuff with the souls and the people and the things and the war and the ending of time thing, but like, you seem to be involved in things a little more deeper than most people are.
I did not tell you about the ending of time thing. What
Well,
is-
I'm just all wrapped up in apocalypse, end of world, kind of. I mean, one of those comes along every few hundred years. It's not a big deal.
Ja,
Been there, done that.
Anna
It's
is,
like the fourth
Anna is
apocalypse
more,
I've lived through. It's fine.
Anna is more wrapped up in that than I. I just happen to be the one who could get her out of it.
Why are the Hell Knights so interested in you?
Oh, that's because one owned me.
You think that they would send someone like who was sent after you, that chit of a girl?
The one that owned me is Tidus, the second in command, and also of a noble house of Cheliax. Very well connected.
And what's your parentage?
Oh, well, I am the Azimir son of a Chilaxian house.
Which one?
Why do you care?
AKA the player doesn't remember.
No, I remember.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes.
It's just interesting that there would be such interest in you. Escaped slaves happen all the time.
How many Azimir slaves in Chilax are you acquainted with?
I'm not acquainted with many slaves to begin with.
So, that is the only thing I know. I do not know of any other reason other than his pride at losing his favored slave. He showed me off to everyone in Cheliax. Everyone knows that he had me, and now he doesn't.
All right. We'll go with that.
So,
Clara. So,
enough side
Yes.
you have gone to the guard station, yes?
Yes, I spoke with Ben. Ben is interested in coming. I also left a bulletin. And he gave me some files of those who are on island.
Do you not
There's
have
some
them?
do a couple mages.
Do you
Yeah,
have them?
yes, here they are.
I also asked several patrons of the tavern and see if they wanted to join too.
I hand them over.
Thank you. He takes them from you and he puts them down. He starts flipping through it. Then he looks up at Flint. He's like, "Oh, Flinty, who did you ask?" Like kind of almost like that patronizing tone that like, parents get when their kids are just yapping at them.
Yeah. Well,
like, oh.
I asked Jimmy and see if he would come. He said he had to ask his wife because, he was kind of on probation for the last time that he went on a trip that I asked him to go on. But we'll see how that happens.
Oh, was that the
Sally
one
said-
where he fell and broke his leg and then you abandoned him for a day?
I went to get help. Claire fixed him. But anyways.
I did fix him.
But yeah, and Sally, she said she had a bad hump on her back. And so she couldn't come.
Oh, that hump, yes. We've been working on that, though. It's gotten
Yeah,
smaller. Did you notice it's gotten much smaller than it was before?
It is. It's so amazing.
Why are we talking about this?
I'm looking through the files.
If we cannot get in covertly, there's no way we're getting in there. We do not need a large group.
He puts the files down. And he turns and looks at you.
Jethro was really excited to come.
Flinty. Quiet. How long do you think I've been doing this?
Very long time. That does not mean you're doing it well.
Clara raises her eyebrow but doesn't say anything.
Do you live here in your nice posh house?
Is
Tell me.
she safe?
Yes. She says
Is
she's
there
fine.
a possibility that she could be found in the next 5 minutes?
Unfortunately, yes.
I don't agree with you. I have dealt with magic much longer than you have. Her presence there will most likely go unnoticed.
Oh, it is not about the magic.
It is about the scrying and the magic that I used.
That was
She
not my
is
concern.
safe. And if you want help, you will need to back up.
Flinty takes a step back.
It is your choice. If you wish to do this on your own,
Lamont, I simply believe that he is worried about his partner.
And if I simply leave, your Macaulay won't mind?
Macaulay.
This is not a prison.
You came for me for a reason.
Yes. We would like you to be here. We see something. Mankare sees something.
Macaulay.
But if you do not wish to be here, if you do not wish to be a part of this life, that is fine. But the first step to even deciding that is to being cooperative.
Am I here?
Give me a diplomacy check.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. I get a hero point for the night.
Okay.
I will use the hero point for that.
For somebody who is so diplomatic in most situations, you're being kind of a dick.
Well, they're like chatting about the weather. Yeah, that's a little bit better.
That's cocked. That is cocked.
All right, fun. GM,
Do it again.
Here comes Nat 20. Do it.
Or
That's a
two. Or two.
It has half of it.
It's just missing a zero.
It was a 16, but you made me re-roll it.
Sorry.
That is a 17.
Okay. What do you want?
I want to get to Emfarak. And this I do not see helping.
Here's your choices. You let me work and do what I need to get the information I need to get you there safely. Or you can leave. Those are your two choices. And you can see he's kind of like his frustration and anger that you saw just a few seconds previous is kind of like disappeared, and it's just like, this is the way it is. Take it.
Clara is a little bit uncomfortable. Just like trying to
Conflict averse.
Yeah. And also like she wants to help, but she doesn't know what to say.
As we'll just give a slight nod, and he'll take 2 steps back and turn around and walk to the closest like seating. Is there anywhere to sit?
Well, yeah, there's a sofa, and then there's the 2 chairs, and then there's the built-in bookshelves that are behind us.
He will turn around, go to sit. He grabs his book and just starts looking at his book. Just
Okay.
turning the pages a little more aggressively than normal.
And immediately the jovial, happy old man kind of thing comes back, and he starts flipping back through the files, and he stops on a few. He pulls one out, and then he's flipping through a couple more, and then he pulls another one out, and then he kind of sets the rest of them aside, and he says, "Okay, so this type of thing, most likely, we're going to need someone that is powerful as a fighter and powerful as a mage. So I believe we should go with Leon and Sebelin. And I can send you guys the stats for them later. But
do we know them?
you
Valentina?
know Leon. You do not know Sabelin. Leon is a newer fixture to the island, so you don't know him well. But you know that he is a very good fighter. He came from a gladiator type ring, so he does know how to do quite a bit of one-on-one, but he's still trying to find his feet in like a group combat. So he's a good...
Like actual military combat.
Yeah, like military combat. So he's done one-on-one. He's very good on one-on-one. So, yeah. So, but I can send you guys the stats and stuff for them later. But it's so Leon and Sabelin, however, are off island at the moment. But I can get a message to them and have them meet us wherever we end up going. So we have White Rock, that we can go to, which is closer to Citadel Infrarak. However, we will still have to pass through and over the river to get to where you all...
I don't have my Targo map on me.
No, you don't. Neither do I.
I do have
It fell.
Wanderer's Guide to help us get there.
Yeah, I can do
perfect.
as well.
Az just disappeared.
Oh, there he is.
I reached into my bag of holding a little too far, and the cat disappeared. In
You're
there.
like, "Ah! I fell in!
Oh.
Here, let me...
It's not on here.
I don't think it is. Let me double check it. There it is. So here's Cantargo.
Mm-hmm.
Here's White Rock.
That saves us barely anything.
The Matador Teep. There's a Citadel Infrarak. There's Revenal Road. Pezik also has one.
That is where the Domina is currently at.
Of Revenel?
Ja.
Oh.
There's a war going on.
Oh.
Remember, we talked about the
Wait,
souls.
is
and
Pezik, who controls Pezik at the moment?
at the moment, Revenant.
Well, then it's fine. We could go to Pezik.
Oh, no, wait. Pezik's on...
The Citadel, or the Cheliac side.
Okay, never mind. No, Pezik is controlled right now by the Hell Knights of Enfrak. They gutted it for souls.
That's not helpful either.
That is the front where we were supposed to go in, was it 2 weeks now or 2.5 weeks?
This has been...
I think it's 2.5
This
weeks.
has been like 2 days, so it's still like 2.5 weeks away.
That is where we are supposed to go to the border by Pezik in 2.5 weeks to meet the Domina because there is a war.
If that's where you're supposed to meet your Domina, Anna's already there.
Not in Enfrak.
Well, I know. I was trying to make you smile. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to teleport to White Rock. And from there, we will take horses and we will go down south.
That is...
Or we
7
open a gate
days.
and figure out a way to get her gate open. Because we cannot go through a gate that is not open.
Can I do an Arcana check for like what Az might know
Yeah.
about? Like, I don't even know if there is
Go
there
ahead.
any a gate that exists on our side that opens into the boneyard. Would there be a equivalency on the boneyard side?
Yeah, roll me a... Yeah.
Another 2. So that's 16.
You think maybe? I mean, it makes sense that there would be corresponding gates.
He'll ask the 1,000-year-old wizard if we can get to the boneyard. Will there be a other side of the gate?
Well, of course.
I mean, is there an actual physical other side? Like, is there somewhere there we can activate it?
Oh, you mean the gate that Anna's at?
Yeah.
It's possible we could get help to open that gate if your Anna is favored, as you say, by Pharasma. She may be willing to send someone to open the gate on that side. But in terms of actually opening a corresponding gate from one to another, it doesn't really work like that. They're kind of one way when they're open. Like, you could walk through it and you could go back through it, but it's not like I can flip a switch and the light in the other room turns on. Unless the electrical wiring is off.
What is the electric... What is this?
That is something that will come along in a few years. Don't worry about it right now.
Indoor plumbing.
It's gonna be big.
Gotta be big.
That was exactly what I was thinking.
That's exactly
Yup.
Okay, so
if we wanted to, we could go to the boneyard and we could ply Pharasma with whatever Pharasma wants. He kind of looks at you and Clara, you and Flinty, and you're just like, I don't know what she wants.
Flowers, maybe?
Az reaches into his bag and pulls out the single remaining soul stone that we had kept for study, because we hadn't gotten all the souls out yet.
That's true. That is very true. And Lamont kind of leans forward. He's like, what is that?
What is that?
This is a soul stone we stole from a hag. We were still working to release all of them.
Soul stone.
This is similar to what Cuthwaldwin is using to trap them.
Lamont reaches for it and he takes it and he kind of...
As he reaches out, Az does do a little pull before he hands.
Frick, whoever knew that Az was like freaking dominant. He's over here trying to like assert himself. Lamont holds on to...
He's testing boundaries so he knows where his station is.
Yeah, that's it. He's trying to figure out his pecking order. We had 3 dogs this last week. We understand how that works.
I'm only level 9. I can't take on the level 20.
No, like he's beyond level 20. He's like a freaking god. Like, no. So he takes it and kind of holds it and is examining it and then hands it back to you after just a moment. And he says, I think that would probably work.
Is there a side room where I can think for a moment?
Of course. And he kind of points to the left side of the room, and just tucked behind the built-in bookshelves is like just a small door. And he says that goes into a meditation type room.
That is perfect.
You could go over there.
As kind of
goes into the latrine.
Yes. Well, that's where you think, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Greatest thoughts.
Reader's Digest.
Best books are there.
Reader's Digest of Golarion and the
phone.
So as kind of goes and he walks to this room, closes the door behind him, puts his back against the door, takes a deep breath, scratches his head, walks forward, puts his hand, and kneels. Pharasma, this is us. I don't do this thing generally, but we need to go through your realm to get to Anna. Can you help with that?
Give me a religion check.
No, I don't like this dice.
That dice has been nixed.
You should have saved your hero point.
I know.
Didn't know this was coming up. It's a 6. Jeez,
Can we donate our hero points?
No.
Oh.
The only way he can get more hero points is if one of our viewers cashes in their channel points.
Yep.
for a hero point.
That is dirty 20.
Dang.
It's a dirty 20.
Wait, did we ever use the ones that were cached, like given in last
I
week?
don't have them marked off. No, we had one marked off. I think one was used.
Use it.
I think it was for
I used one, I think.
Okay, you used one?
Yeah, I used one, but we had two at the beginning of last session that were cached. Or not cached, but were deposited.
We banked
and then
them?
one, yeah. And then Flinty used one.
I don't think the second one was ever used.
I don't think it was used either.
Was it for someone?
No, it was just banked. Somebody had...
General pot.
Yeah.
Okay,
So if you want to use it, you
give
can.
me that. I want to find my metal D20. Is it in there?
It is.
Okay, there we go. Give me my...
Oh my gosh.
Give me
we're
my
so
weighted dice. I mean, my favorite dice.
We are so superstitious. Gamers are the most superstitious people ever, I swear.
No.
Yeah.
You haven't talked to a lot of sports people. They will wear the same
Have you
underwear.
met Laura Bailey?
They will wear the same underwear and socks.
Have
because
you
they won at
met
the
Laura
games.
Bailey?
Actually, I've never met her.
Yeah, it's true.
If the Seahawks are playing and it's an important game, I'll wear their pocket watch and I'll wear all Seahawks stuff.
Seriously? That's cute.
Yeah.
So I rolled. I couldn't read what it was, so I picked it up. But the way I picked it up, it like curved, and now I'm not sure which one it
Okay,
was.
reroll.
An 8 or a 10. Good.
Just reroll it again. How about you take the 5,000 dice that is in your dice tray out?
Now,
Like, you don't even use all of them.
okay, it's just slightly better. That's a 23.
Okay. So
Not 23.
you know that this has worked for Anna in the past. You've been there when she's prayed. So you have a feeling that this probably is at least reaching for Asma. Who knows if it's actually gonna work?
New prayer. Who's this?
Oh my gosh. I think that's the name of this episode. Thank you, Dave.
Dave's really good at coming up with those.
I know, like on just these moments. I love it. So yeah, that's all you've got. And there's no immediate response. There's no feeling or vision or anything. It's just kind of like, okay, well, hopefully that got somewhere. Clara, what are you doing right now? Well, Az is sequestered.
I'm probably not pacing nervously, but pacing thoughtfully, sort of back and forth, trying to come up with more ideas, solutions, trying to problem solve, how are we going to make this work the best way and still have a good impression with Az? She's still trying, because Lamont sort of kind of killed the vibe that was worked on.
That's kind of true.
And just trying to pull at straws, just thinking of ways to get on out and out the way in, and not having to assault the tower because that will end in bloodshed.
That would end with death. Flinty, what are you doing?
So he wants to approach Clara because he's like, I think I may have an idea.
You do? What
So
is it?
you know Tomafred, right? At the barkeep, he has his favorite glass and he hates it when we wash it.
Yes.
Right?
Clara was really hopeful. Now she's like,
This is going
Really?
somewhere.
But the only way we can get it away from him is if we distract him, you know? And then I'm able to grab it, clean it up, and get it back to him. So, Az mentioned that one place that was a bunch of war, right?
yeah.
They're all distracted with each other. So us going there, they may not even notice us because they're distracted elsewhere. Their attention is elsewhere. So maybe we can sneak in that way.
Lamont kind of pipes up and he's like, it's not a bad idea. But he goes back
liked
to
it.
eating his stew.
I
And he doesn't
thought
say
we were
that
going
often.
somewhere else, but I think that is a brilliant idea, Flinty. And I pat his shoulder.
And Lamont kind of is just kind of looking at the two of you and just says, "Do you notice the mice?"
As opens the door, there is one thing.
Hold on. I was asking if they saw the mice. Do you notice the mice?
Is this mice?
Mice?
Don't you have cats here?
Are you suggesting that you turn us into mice so they don't notice us?
No, but that is a very good idea.
Oh dear.
Oh, they're filthy animals.
I think he's saying that you don't notice mice.
Yes. You don't notice the mice. What Flinty is saying is correct. If we went to the teleportation circle there, more than likely, it will not be noticed if they are currently fighting a war. It is an option.
We could go as in disguise.
Of course we could. And then he grabs like a hat that's like nearby. He's like, I am very good at disguises.
Where'd he go?
Exactly.
Excuse. Oh. I could go as a cook instead of a janitor.
I think
Yes.
I would go as the cook and you would go as a janitor. You could stay a janitor.
Okay.
And I could go as a cook. And Az could go as the spokesman.
But I am a
Az is
janitor.
looking at them. This bewildered look on his face.
These are the ones you picked. These are the ones.
These are the people gonna save the world. Now we're all standing.
But I am a janitor.
I think he has
But you're also
11% of a
warrior.
plan.
Az.
Yes.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Pause. Az, what were you going to say? You walked in the room all important like.
What if we summon the psychopath?
That's not a bad idea. What would you want from her?
We could. I have had them visit us before.
Us
might
or
have-
Anna?
We were in the same room.
Oh. So us.
And then Phrasma wanted to talk to me last night. So
Wait.
I'm guessing that
Wait. What? What? Did you know this?
Did not
Wait, what?
know this.
Phrasma visited you last night?
Well, it's dreams and stuff like that. You never know. Maybe you ate something bad.
Or
You did
drink
not
something.
eat anything bad. Not in my house.
If
Well, there was that
Phrasma-
one time.
If Phrasma visited you,
That
then
never happened.
more than likely you are also one favored of the Dark Mistress.
More so that she simply said, "Take care of Anna."
She does not visit. Has she visited Anna?
I think so. I know they talk. But Anna doesn't pray that much. It's kind of interesting. It's more like Phrasma simply says,
Pray-
"Go, kill that thing."
I pray to my goddess.
So, quick GM
Yes.
ruling here. So in third level spells,
Okay.
I can summon chaotic monitors, which psychopops are in the monitor group. I can summon chaotic, lawful, celestial, and fiends. But there's nowhere in there that it says I can do a neutral monitor. So I guess it would be a little outside of the spells, but like I can summon everything else. It's kind of stupid.
I think that was just an oversight. I think that's probably as fine.
So
if you want to do it.
There is a spell that you might be able to do it yourself. To summon a monitor from the planes, and my deity is neutral. I serve Nethys. So I should be able to reach out to someone of the neutral plane of the boneyard.
I don't see any reason why we shouldn't try that. What would be the purpose of bringing said individual here?
We might be able to get a guide in the boneyard.
That is quite a good idea.
So if you can open a gate to the boneyard, and I can get us a guide in the boneyard.
That would work. But we still have the problem of the gate on the other side. Of having that opened.
Yeah. I mean, I know how to reactivate one. So can I do an Arcane check to see if Az would know what it would take to just like, because the gate was still active, if I remember. It just wasn't like...
It wasn't on.
It wasn't on.
To turn it on.
Because there's two types of things. There's restoring a gate, and then there's just turning the gate on.
Because that one, those three, the neutral planes were functional.
Yes.
But they weren't on. They were off at the time.
Yeah. Because it's a ritual spell to like turn on a deactivated one. It's 3rd level ritual spell. I'm trying to remember if when I GM'd this, if I considered those deactivated. I don't think I did.
I know some of them were deactivated because remember we had a conversation about it because Anna was worried about it.
Yeah. Well, the Abyssal Plane ones were.
Those were fully deactivated.
Yep. As were Celestial. It was only the neutrals that were still kind of running.
Kind of open. Okay. Yeah.
So can I do an arcane check?
Yeah, do an arcane check.
I want to see if I build up enough sending spells, can I tell Anna what to do? That's another 9. I haven't rolled above 10.
What the heck,
this
babe?
whole night.
For the love.
So if
I feel your pain, Weston.
That's
I really do.
That was a 9, so it's a 23.
And he critted twice when he played Cyberpunk on Saturday last week.
The dice are just connected to Az right now.
They don't want him going into the boneyard.
They're just no, they're just mad. They're just all just mad. Everybody's just mad.
You can't blame me. I haven't touched him.
So what was that amount? Sorry, what was the total?
23.
23. Honestly, it's not something that would be super difficult for you to know, considering the Hellgate was there and the kind of the world that you lived in. I feel like you would know.
But would it be something that I could tell Anna how to do?
Well, you could try.
Okay.
You could try and tell her what and how.
Okay. I could try and walk Anna through turning it on.
Well, the Zamond, he says, I know I can get this going. I can go send us into the boneyard. So that's not a problem. If you want to try and summon a guide, that's fine. We could try to do that.
There is one.
As soon as he says that, though, there's a pretty resounding knock on the door of the gate of the tower. There's like kind of booming, like it kind of sounds like somebody who has like a huge gauntlet on or something. He kind of startles and is like, Clara, did you invite someone?
I don't think so. I did, on the bulletin say, come find us quickly.
Maybe it's Jethro. Maybe he's here. I'm going to go answer the door.
I don't think Jethro is here. So, Flinty, you're going to go answer the door?
I'll go answer the door.
Okay. You swing the door open, and standing before all of you is a very tall, lanky woman. She is draped in these robes that are black gossamer, and they seem to be almost incandescent in the way that they shimmer in the light. And her hair is very dark, almost black, but also slightly purple, that deep violet color in the sun. And it is bone straight down to her back, and she has both of her hands kind of clasped in front of her. And she looks directly at Az and says, "You rang." And we are going to take a really quick break right there.
How tall is she compared to me?
She's shorter than you.
Okay.
She's like 5'10".
Okay.
So she's a couple inches shorter than you. Anyway, so we are going to take a quick 5-minute break, and we will be back for the second half of our show. Stick around, Dooms, since we are literally playing for you.
It's all for you,
and
dude.
for us.
You.
Speaking of Dooms, have you ever said anything in the chat? Ever? I don't remember. If you have not, you should. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Anyway,
No, you can talk later,
we
too.
are going to take a really quick break. We will be right back in about 5 minutes. Hugs, kisses, and all that jazz. Peace. we're back. We're just gonna drop, and we wanted to say hi to Uber Geek.
We just got a quick bathroom break, and we're still waiting for our guests to rejoin. But we saw you come in, and we're
so
like,
we wanted to say hi.
Uber!
I know. Dave is gonna be like, "Oh crap, we're live." So Uber Geek Media.
We've just been kicked off.
No. We just got raided, so we decided to jump on and say hi.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry, didn't mean to scare you.
Sorry, I
guys.
was worried about my little chickies. They
I
didn't
know.
have any water.
You guys have chickens, like babies.
Yeah.
That's so
We got
exciting.
little baby, yeah. It's part of our learned something new for
The kiddos.
the kiddos, and also for food storage.
That's awesome. I think that's a self-sufficiency,
They're
self-reliance
chickens.
kind of stuff is like it's a big deal. Okay, so we are back on. So at the door is this woman that is standing and looks at Az and says, "You rang."
yes. Do I like as was there when Anna got visited before by a well, what are they even called? It's not Morgan. It's something similar to that.
No, it's a Morrigan. Mm-hmm. But you weren't awake when that happened.
No, in the chapel.
Oh, yes. You, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is this?
Give me a religion check.
Hey, I got him with 10.
Oh my goodness, good
So
job.
that is a 17 plus 14, so 31.
31. Okay, yes, this is a Morgan.
Let's roll the night.
Yes. I know. This is a Morgan. This is a servant of Pharasma that resides in the boneyard, in that plane, and she is now standing before you.
Ah, yes. Thank you very much for taking my call. He turns to Lamont and is like, this would be one of our ladies' envoys. So Az kind of walks up.
Guide? Question mark.
Is it? Wait. So this is, and Lamont just kind of turns to this woman and is like, "So you work with Pharasma?" He just kind of leans forward a little bit. He's like, "What's that like?" And she just kind of stands there and just like, I know of Lamont. It's fine. We should probably discuss why you called.
Yes, we have important things to discuss.
And she looks at you, Clara and Flint, and kind of nods at both of you and says, "Clara, Flint."
How do you know my name?
Yeah, I'm curious of that as well. But it is nice to meet you. As you already know, I'm Clara, and that is Flinty.
Yeah, my friends call me Flinty. So you can call me Flinty.
All right. She just kind of smiles and then looks back at Az and says, Yes.
I imagine that you are aware that Anna, our lady servant, is currently in a precarious position.
"Yes, she is not exactly where Our Lady decidedly wants her to be."
No, we had an unfortunate run-in with a banishment spell. And she ended up there. We are seeking a means of returning her to where Our Lady wants her. And there is one option before us that requires some assistance.
Yes.
She currently resides underneath Citadel Infarak, and we know that there is a gate there That does lead to Our Lady's realm.
It is one of the lost gates.
Yes. We are wondering if is there a way through that?
You mean
Our hope is to travel. Looks at Lamont real quick, just kind of double checking. Into Our Lady's realm, and then come out that gate. Get Anna, and then he can bring us back here, without any of the Hell Knights knowing.
that is not a bad plan? Yes, Flinty, did you have something to say?
Oh, no, it has to be secret. Shh, quiet.
Oh. Yes, of course.
Yes.
That is a good idea. The only problem is that the gateway itself is not currently on.
Oh,
Yes.
first it's lost, and now it's off.
It is only lost to those who do not seek it.
Yes, that was something that I was wondering. And it cannot be turned on from the other side.
No, it must be turned on from the side that Anna is at.
Okay, so we need to teach Anna to activate a gate.
Well, she has magic.
Have you met Anna? Or observed Anna?
We have seen her, yes.
She's not quite the, how do you say this?
She prefers to smash things.
Yes, that is a good way to put it.
We know. But she does have magic. She has the capability of doing such.
Okay. Well, then,
If she does it correctly, that's a completely different story.
yeah, that, you speak in wisdom.
I can tell you this, however. Given guidance, she most likely will be able to finish it. It is not as difficult as I believe you think it is.
I'm well acquainted with how it works. Simply, I've never tried to have Anna do anything of this level before. She generally just says, "Az, make it work."
And she kind of smiles. She smiles and like sits. She decides to finally sit down on the couch, and you see her clothing kind of like floats almost like off of her body, and it just does this not like naked, but it doesn't. Woo! Didn't know it was that kind of party. She
like underwater.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's kind of has this fluidity to it that it's not actually like on her body. So it's very elegant and beautiful. And when she sits down, that was what I was trying to say.
Do I see a bunch of spiders hanging from the edges of it?
Give me your perception check.
I'll get those spiders.
You have got to be kidding me.
Is that a 20?
That's a 20. I use
Always when it doesn't matter. Oh.
Yes,
You
there
and
are.
Weston, we are cut from the same cloth.
There are spiders, and you can see part of the gauzy effect of the clothing itself is because there are spiders that are like actively weaving webs. There we go. Oh, no, it focused back. So, what do you ask of me? And Lamond leans forward and says, well, you still haven't answered my question.
Yes, Lamont. Yes.
Establishing dominance.
Maybe that should be the title, The Dominance Battle.
Honestly, it's less establishing dominance, and it's more like Lamont keeps wanting to take the attention away from finding Anna.
He just has
Comparing
questions.
sizes.
Oh my gosh.
I won't say it.
No.
You're like family friendly. Oh wait, this isn't necessarily a family friendly podcast. So you can say whatever you want.
Well, if we know that Anna can turn it on, if I can walk her through that process, then is it... How difficult would the journey be for us to get there, to the gate?
Like passing through a doorway.
So
That's pretty easy.
he looks at Lamont. He's like, so he opens a way for us into the boneyard. But then we must actually get to the gate.
Yes, you would need to travel through the boneyard. Make sure you don't meet with anything unpleasant. And then step through the gate on the other side.
It is that that journey that worries me.
Me as well.
It's just a bunch of dead things.
Have you ever tried to fight a dead thing?
They're dead. Why would I fight a dead thing? It's already
Well,
dead.
Undead.
Undead.
There are less undead in the boneyard than you would think.
Yeah. She
Phrasma-
doesn't like undead.
Phrasma abhors anything that is not in its rightful place.
Oh, me too.
However,
But
that is the byway of all souls. And there are those who have stronger wills than others. They could, as they say, hitch a ride back. Which is always a worry of anyone that comes into the boneyard unprotected.
Yes, the hitchhiking ghosts are a constant issue. In their doom buggies.
We don't
as long as they're not
we don't
grimming ghosts.
Grinning ghosts up the
They come out to socialize. Come on, they're super bird.
But is it...
All jokes aside, there is a possibility of something following you out.
The journey, are we... I know that in the boneyard time...
Does pass differently. It depends. The boneyard itself is out of space and time. You could come back to the moment you left, or you could come out weeks later.
And I think one question I have as far as the journey is, what do we bring? Do I need to bring, like, food for multiple days? I have not been to the realm.
Definitely a change of underwear if there's undead there.
Flinty, I don't believe you have to worry about the undead, but a change of underwear is not a bad idea. And Lamont is just kind of like enamored, and he's just like leaned forward, just staring at her, like, oh my gosh. And he does kind of ask, so your dress is actually made out of spiders? And she smiles, and she kind of lifts one hand, and there is a small little spider that kind of comes up to the point on her finger, and she just holds it there for a second. And then it backs into the dress itself.
I believe that one's name is Charlotte.
Charlotte. Yes. And Lamont is he's like completely taken by this woman.
So
Do we need to leave? Just kidding.
No.
I don't understand what's going on.
You're like, there's all these people that
it's
just
okay,
come,
Flinty, it's okay.
just are like hitting on other people, and I don't get it.
So
Don't worry, Ben's not here.
we
Yeah, Ben.
enter the boneyard.
Ben.
How do we find our way?
Well, you asked for a guide, yes?
Yes.
I would guide you through.
Wunderbar. Well, he turns to Lamont. How do we open that gate?
Well, I need a few things, and I would need to gather those things together, and you would all need to prepare for a journey, it sounds like, and the woman nods and in agreement, I guess. So probably tomorrow? It will take a little bit of time to get all of the things together, and we don't want to overpack, but you want to make sure you have everything you need. And if Anna has been alone in a cave for a few days, then at that point she's probably going to be very hungry, and we might want to actually bring food for her to eat. And you said she has a dog?
Yes.
And what kind of dog is that? Oh, hey, GM Hina. Thank you so much for the raid, love. Hey.
Hello.
Raiding.
Raiding.
Oh gosh.
I like it. My brain went to loathing. Rating. Unadulterated late rating. Oh my gosh, we're such oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Sammy Bear, thank you so much for following. All of our little avatars did a dance for you. Thank you so much.
You get a little dragon.
You got a little dragon. Good job. Okay, sorry, I'm super distracted. Okay, so Lamond he stands up and he starts kind of muttering to himself, and he goes over to the bookcase and he kind of starts looking through the books, and he pulls a couple of books down, and he starts going back up the stairs, and then turns and looks at all of you, and you're still there. And he said, "We'll go! If you're going to do this, get out!" And then he turns back around and he keeps walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe we could go see if anybody's answered your bulletin.
Or we could go back to the inn for lunch as well.
That was the noise.
That was
Do you I'm sorry, what is your name?
I don't have one.
Oh, I thought you were joking.
No.
Okay.
I am
Did
the
you
Morrigan.
eat?
No.
Can we call you Morgan?
Lamore what?
Yes, you can call me Morgan. That's fine. It is not a title, it is a classification.
I understand, but Morgan is also a name.
That is fine. Yes.
Do you eat?
No. I am not technically alive.
All right. Do you need to rest?
I understand what you're getting at. I will leave. I will return when the ritual is ready. And with that, she's gone.
No, I was asking if she wanted to go with us to rest at the inn and eat. I'm sorry.
Can I ask the GM, how did she
Yes.
disappear?
She...
And a great ball of spiders.
Give me a perception check. Because there's magic involved.
That's an 18
Oh.
plus 16, 34.
Nice.
Oh, my rolls are back.
Okay,
Hey.
finally.
Thank you for all of you being on, because earlier I had couldn't roll above a 10.
Nope.
When you all started rating, I started rolling
That's
better.
when he started being You guys give him the juju.
I have
The good rolling
juju.
So because
He's a better performer in front of people.
Apparently.
That's what it is.
I need an audience.
you do.
At least his dice
he needs an
perform
audience.
well.
I know his dice need an audience. His dice are like, if I don't have people to perform for, I'm not gonna freaking do anything. With a perception check like that.
Uber geek.
Oh, Uber geek, I got a feeling point.
No,
I'm gonna write
we
that
need
down.
hero points.
Villian point. faint.
Yeah, she'll save that for the next combat.
Oh, that's gonna be right in there. Oh yeah. So because your perception was so high, normally there's magic that kind of covers when a psychopop or a Morgan, like when they dissipate, when they leave. But your perception is so high, and you're so familiar with this type of magic that you were able to see that it's almost like she dissolves into the ground, and there's like a skittering of spiders, but it's not like the spiders go up into anything. It's like sorry, I got really excited. They kind of skitter outwards and then like dissolve into the floor. So they're not, yeah. So you see this person just kind of goes, and then is gone. What the hell is going on here? The woman who had a dress made out of spiders. That is what is going on here. Kyle, hi Kyle, hi sweetie. Okay. So, what are you guys doing now?
I was going to ask her if Anna is asleep. Well, I imagine that Anna doesn't have much to do there. I have a spell that I can do that will allow me to send her a message in her sleep that is longer, and maybe give her some instruction on how to open the gate.
Oh,
so
that's a really good idea.
I need to go back to my room and do this.
All right. And Flinty and I can go check the bulletin, and then the inn to see if anyone has claimed said bulletin.
Ja.
Yes.
Great.
So you do your planning, and we'll go see if we can get some more allies.
All right. So as you head back to the inn, and Clara and Flint go ahead and head to the guardhouse. Once you get in, like, to closer range, you can see that there are a couple more people kind of wandering around outside. It's kind of chill. There's a few horses that are tied off in front of the building itself. And as you go inside, you see Ben is kind of doing this like orchestration thing where he's kind of pushing different people in different directions and moving, keeping the flow going. But as soon as you enter, he kind of sits up a little bit and he's like, "Oh, ha, Clara, you're back already. It's only been," and he kind of looks at the large clock and he's like, it's only been a few hours. It's so good to see you. And Flinty, hello Flinty.
Hi. Ben.
Yep. Betty Ben, it's Flinty Flint.
Have we had anyone want to see the bulletin?
You mean besides
you, Ben? And I wink.
Yes. Well, actually, and he goes over and next to the bulletin itself, there's kind of been a couple of names that have been written down, but as you're looking at them, you recognize them and you're like, yeah, no, that's not happening. They're all individuals in the town that kind of have this glamorized idea of what going out on missions is. They've kind of like turned it into like this almost hero worship kind of thing.
There's that 15-year-old kid,
yeah,
you know,
who just they want to leave, but at the same time they like don't understand what this actually means. So,
oh look, Thumpkin signed up. He would be really good at this.
I know, Flinty. He'd die in an instant.
But he's small and stealthy.
No,
you remember when he broke into the kitchens and you didn't even know?
Zoom! When he runs away. Like, no.
Oh, okay.
And Ben says, yeah, that the Zoom thing is kind of becoming an issue because he's zooming his way into other people's paths and
he likes the
people.
pitter pat, of his feet. You could hear him.
Is he one of those guys that when he's stealthing has his own Mission Impossible music? He's humming.
A little bit like Krunk.
Totally.
A little bit like Krunk.
But like the boy version of Kronk.
Like the little boy version. Oh my gosh.
But has the same voice. Just
Yes.
he matured early. His voice matured early.
So there's nobody really of any import there.
Okay.
But Ben does say, I am still available. Nothing has happened between this morning and now to make me not available. Do you guys know when you are going to be going?
Your schedule, because we'll be leaving tomorrow.
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 Oh, okay. So quick. Okay. Okay. I can have all of my things ready tomorrow. Where are we meeting?
We'll meet at my inn.
Okay. I can do that. I am there for you, Clara. I will do what I need to do for you.
And you're not afraid to go into a scary portal.
How?
Oh yeah, we're going to a boat.
How scary of a portal? I mean, you guys are still like going after Citadel Infrarak and all that, right?
Yes.
Is it scarier than Citadel Infrarak?
Potentially.
It has a lot of undead people there.
Not
Yeah,
undead.
this spider lady told us that we'd go through this portal thing into like a yard of bones. I think it was. It might be a dog's house.
Are you spider
Yes.
lady? Made she was a spider.
No, she wasn't a. She just had a lot of.
Clothes made of spider silk, and spiders live on her.
Yeah, it's really weird.
That
It's like her clothes were like on her, but not on her. I think it was because of all the spiders that may have been on her that the clothes didn't get on her skin. Maybe she has some kind of irritation when the clothes get on her skin. I'm not sure.
you see his face just go from like eager, excited to like slowing degrees of horrified over your conversation.
Clara is slowly trying to like. You probably don't want to come with us.
And there's something
Yeah.
weird about time that I heard. Like time doesn't exist.
Give me both of you. Give me deception. No.
Intimidation.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do that. Give me intimidation checks.
Because I just don't want Ben to die.
I know. And it has nothing to do with the golden retriever puppy energy that he's given us.
That's a 27 for Flinty.
Are
Okay.
you serious?
There we go.
That's
I
pretty
got a 24, and I have a plus 17.
Plus 17?
Wow, you rolled really low.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, like a plus 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he kind of looks at you, Clara, with like there's a little bit of suspicion, but there's just something about the way Flinty is talking that has
But they
him,
did say
like,
that we had a...
like
Go ahead.
he's just like I don't let me double my mom is in town, so there's a possibility.
We completely understand.
I'm gonna check my
But
schedule.
we will have a guide through there, so he will make sure that we don't run into
We'll be
anything.
sure to invite you possibly on our next mission.
Well,
It will be less scary. Less scary.
Okay. But
Less
I'm always
death-defying.
I'm always here for you, Clara. Like if you called me up, I would be right there. But with my mom here right now.
I completely
Visiting.
understand, Ben, and I kind of put my hand like up on the thing. I don't touch him, but I just just playing along.
Okay.
It's like, I know, it's okay.
Okay.
But you see your mom all the time. I mean, you saw her all growing up. You may not see any of these other sites.
You're right, you're right, but she's got a bad back. And so... Hi, Snowflake. So we might...
Snowflake boy!
You know... Cool. So then he turns around and he like heads back behind the countertop.
Good.
And
That's taken care of. Thank you, Flinty. Let's go back to the...
But we just lost somebody. We need people to help us.
We saved his life.
But... I'm confused.
oh,
We need
Snowflake!
people.
Snowflake boy just redeemed a hero point. Snowflake, who do you want the hero point to go to, my dear?
So far, we need some hero points.
We got Anna, Az, and then we have guest stars of Flinty and Clara.
Yep, we've got Flinty and Clara and Az, who are currently in play right now, who are available for a hero point. So you can choose whoever you would like it to go to. Cool. Okay, well, there's nothing else. Unless there's anything else. Did you guys want to do anything else at the guard station? Okay, cool.
Yep. Very good. Heading back to the tavern.
Okay, great. So once you arrive back at the tavern, all's pretty normal. It's the normal lunch rush of individuals. Kind of the inn itself has got a little bit of that restlessness of like the mid-afternoon crowd, and you can kind of tell when you guys come in, there's a lot of hellos and cheers and whatnot. And Az is up. Oh, this is for Clara. So Clara, you have a hero point.
The one who probably needs it the most.
Yeah, probably.
Need the most, promise.
So you don't see Az anywhere. He is not currently in hanging out. Move the mouse, because the mouse is like next to my face. Okay, thank you. I appreciate
You're the
it.
star of the show.
I am the star. I am the DM.
I was dropping stars.
I was just throwing my pen. Okay, cool. So what do you want to do?
I'm probably going to go check the latrines, making sure they're all clean and proper. Since it's starting to get busy, making sure things are still in order.
All right. Well, the men's is good. The men's is looking pretty good. The women's, however, there's one area of the toilet's a little clogged that you're gonna need to work on that.
Okay.
And I would legitimately like you to make an athletics check to see if you're able to get the clog
Plunge
out.
that.
I want to see if you can plunge the toilet.
Okay. So he's like,
For all you listeners, you didn't know you could roll to plunge the toilet.
Plunge the toilet. Hey, he opened the door.
Yes, he did.
open the door and
I
open
just
the
have
lid.
to laugh that Haley's assumption is that the men's bathroom is all right.
Oh, I know it probably in real life it probably wouldn't be. In my world, we are equal opportunity toilet cloggers.
You've seen our bathroom our three boys use.
I know.
Flinty's very vocal with the men, but a little shy with the women.
There we go.
All right, so give me an athletics check.
Athletics. So that's a 19 plus a 17. So that's 36.
Oh my god.
He gets-
did that.
He
You
grabs
like-
his ball, moppy, puts on the plumber attachment.
Nice. Freaking love it.
And he's like, all right, here we go.
It's like total anime style.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Is that weapon now considered as having like a low level poison on it now for next combat?
If he left the plunger attachment on, yes, I would go with yes on that. So you get like one, anybody you attack with the plunger end gets like poison 1 if it lands.
Clara's like,
And
just
there's a small
supervising
percent
in
chance
the
that it gets
kitchen.
stuck on them.
Yes. I will homebrew that, and then like next week we can play with that.
Yeah, all
Oh
right.
my gosh. Clara, what were you saying?
Clara just goes back and supervises the cooking in the kitchen.
Okay.
Throws in some secret spices, that sort of thing.
And Flinty comes out of the bathroom like he just defeated an evil dragon or something. He's just like, yeah, I did it, telling the whole story to everybody.
Nice.
Sounds like he's actually defeating a dragon.
It's like you got a couple of people that are like, yeah, like
there I was.
Nice. All right, Az, what are you doing?
So Az is in his room, and there he is. He's kneeling down. He gets in this, his cross-leg pose on the bed. All right. Yes, he gets in a meditative pose, and then Az is going to cast Dream Message.
Okay.
Because Dream Message, it takes me 10 minutes to cast, but I can contact one creature that I know by name and have met in person on the planet, and it sends a message to the target's dream. The message is one way, up to 1 minute of speech. However, and I think I can do this.
Okay.
I also have an ability on my focus points that's extend a spell. That if a spell has a duration of 1 minute on a single target, I can use up one of my focus points to make it last 10 minutes.
I'll allow it. Yeah, that makes sense.
So Az then is going to cast Dream Message, and he's going to leave a 10-minute instructional lecture for Anna the next time she goes to sleep on how to activate a gate.
Anna's gonna hate that.
Okay.
Welcome to my TED Talk.
Now
Seriously?
I do wonder, like, it says that in this, it's a message for 1 minute in your dream. I don't know if it's just auditory or what. I personally
If it's a dream, I'm going to think that it is not auditory only. It's going to be a visual component too, but it will be however her brain interprets what you say.
So the way Az sends it, this is going to be great. The way Az
dream
sends
version
it
of Az
is Az is there.
Dream boy. Oh, sparkle, sparkle.
So yeah, Robert Pattinson in the sunlight.
Oh my god, no!
Sparkly.
No, Robert Pattinson is the Batman, please.
But he begins to explain the way it works, and then in the dream he creates a whiteboard. He creates a big chalkboard, and he's drawn out diagram, and he's like, okay, so you do this, and then you go here, and then you have the gate, and you do this, and here's the diagram of this.
Okay. Frick, what would I have you roll for, like, clarity?
I'm taking my skills.
Lore?
It could be, it could be Arcana, like my ability to put it into simple terms.
Yeah, well, but that's more like intelligence.
Performance.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. Performance check.
Okay, if Az knows,
performance check.
would I know it that it's all about how well I can teach this beforehand?
Yes.
Okay.
You would 100% know
Then
that.
I'm also going to burn another focus point to use Ancestral Memories, which lets me become trained. It lets me become trained in anyone's skill.
Okay.
So suddenly Az is possessed by the long dead ancestor who was at least the mentality of them, who was a...
Remember though, that only works for 1 minute. And if you're leaving a 10-minute message...
That's true.
That will only work for 1 minute.
Sense, and then
it falls apart.
Because I can
so
only
this part's
use...
very important.
If any of our viewers would like to redeem your channel points for hero points for Az in this
skill check
for the skill challenge,
oh please,
you are more than welcome to
please.
do such. It's only 500 channel points.
Yeah, I'm not even trained in performance.
So you may want to give him a hero point at this point in the game.
All right. So, all right. Az is gonna go for the 10 minutes as opposed to being trained in it and only having 1 minute.
Okay.
Because that's my choice. That's my choice.
If you do it if you go for one way and then it fails and you go for the other way, the DC is raised.
Well, problem
I
is
just
I
wanna
think
let you know.
I can only cast Dream Message once.
I know. I'm just letting you know. Well, you can only cast it once per day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously. If anyone wants to redeem hero points, I'm like legit scared for Weston at this point.
So here, can I ask the GM?
Yes. You can ask me a question.
Does the fact that it's 10 minutes drop the DC as opposed to 1 minute? I've got to decide which one I do.
No, that's not going to drop the DC. It's just if you try one thing and then try something else, it would raise the DC for the second
Because I can
attempt.
send a 1 minute dream message and be trained in performance in teaching it, or a 10-minute dream message and not be trained in performance and how to teach it. Okay, I'm going to go the other way. I will go for the 1 minute dream message.
Okay.
But I'm going to use my ancestral knowledge to be trained in performance on how to explain this in a clear way for Anna to understand.
Okay.
Okay.
That's probably a safe bet.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so I will do that. I get in that state, suddenly, connect with the ancestor who is a university instructor.
You can do the 1 minute with the performance, but then continue for the 10 minutes. Just because it's just that the performance would wear off after a minute, so I would have you roll for the 1 minute and then roll again for the rest of it.
Okay, I will do that. I'll do that. All
Okay.
right. Thank you, Jim. All right,
You're
so
welcome.
I will do
I'm
that.
like, I just logistically, like, it's not like one or the other. It's you can do both.
So as we'll do that, so he again connects with the university professor
Okay.
in his lineage, and as he activates dream message
Okay.
to send this message to Anna.
Roll whenever you would like.
Performance check here.
Are you sure you want to roll with 50,000 dice in there?
This bothers Hayley to no end. So I will
He
take
puts
these out.
there's legitimately like 25 dice on his dice tray right now.
Honestly, the only reason there's 25 dice ones here is because the children pour them all out.
Well, that's true as
And
well.
it's just hassle. All right, here we
Okay.
go.
Well, if there's more dice in there, you can choose which one you.
It's true.
What number
Remember,
you want.
500 channel points can be redeemed for a hero point for Az. Who needs it?
What was it?
That's a 6.
Oh,
Oh, we're back! We're back!
it's not good.
Channel point.
Tell you
Channel.
what, when it's not a
So that would be plus 15 though, because
Okay.
I am trained in
So that's
it.
21.
I'm still waiting to see with the delay if someone does a hero point. Okay, I guess not.
Hero point. Hero point. Anyone.
Oh, come on, you know with my luck, it'd
Anyone?
do worse. afterwards.
Anyone.
So
Hero
it was
points.
earlier, yeah.
Anyone. No,
So,
apparently not. Okay.
as connects to this instructor who he thought was better than he was at teaching. He was apparently one of those teachers that, did the big lecture halls. Everyone fell asleep in his lectures. He graded on a bell curve, so he didn't have to really worry about if he was a good teacher or not.
Hey, I had an astronomy teacher that was like that.
I've had many teachers.
And he tries to lay out for Anna for 1 minute, how to open up the gate.
Okay, give me a secondary performance check.
Then once it wears off, he tries, as is himself, tries to continue it.
He does better.
That's a 4. And now I'm not trained,
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Sorry,
which
Weston, I know
means
that's
I add
frustrating.
4 to it for an 8.
Oh.
So, the first minute of the dream.
Weston, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Anna, you're staying there in that cave
It's like Hayley in the tournament all over again.
All right, so the first minute.
Now, was the button blue or red? I don't remember. It's one of them, though.
Ah,
So
you have
push it.
50-50
Which
chance.
wires
Just
do
pick
you
it.
cut?
So for the first minute, it's fairly clear. It's not like crystal clear. She's gonna have to make some intuitive leaps on some of the things that you had explained. But the rest of it, you got into like this magic zone as you're explaining things, and you start using terms that she's never heard of, and you start explaining things in a way that like only someone who is very well trained in magic would understand. So she's going to pick up maybe 30% of what you said, and it's things like walk to the gate that she gets. The rest of it's kind of just gobbledygook for her.
You got to take the magical symbol for Aquarius, and then you got to line it up with the Mars in its
You need the right
fourth
chevrons.
fourth orbit with. Oh, jeez,
So,
that was a bad roll.
Yeah.
Oh.
You may want to try that again at a different time.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
So one thing with Dream Message is I do know when they receive it.
Yes.
So I'm hoping Anna, because she's has nothing to do there, will take some naps today.
Okay. Cool. Well, after that attempt,
Crap.
We could call it that, yeah.
we'll just call it an attempt. What?
Wait, we just had crap and crap, just in two different ways, right?
Oh, it's true. Oh my gosh. What would you like to do? Oh my gosh, my camera. won't
Az is going
focus. There we go.
to. Az comes out of that thinking that he just gave the greatest dissertation ever, and that the academies all over the world need him to teach there.
So if just to be clear, he doesn't know that it was clear as mud.
Oh no. I'm guessing not. Not with that roll.
Mm-hmm. So he may not know there is another attempt that needs to be made.
Well, I'm guessing
So-
he's already planning on doing another sending later. The moment that he gets the message that's been received, doing another sending and asking, "Hey, did you get all that?"
Did you get it? Okay. All right, cool. Sounds good.
He's already
Wasn't
planning
it
that.
amazing?
Wasn't
Yes.
that the best? It was like step by step. I gave you everything you needed.
Sounds like my first coding job.
Oh my gosh, right?
Oh.
Hours of anguish for that one. Okay, so what
So as
are you wanting to do?
then is he's gonna come downstairs and look around for Clara and for Flinty.
Okay, you see Flinty sitting at one of the tables just regaling all of the wonderful patrons with the story of how he vanquished the latrine demon earlier in the afternoon. And Clara
I just grabbed my leg and I said, "Not today."
Clara is nowhere to be seen at the moment.
Flinty, I know this is not necessarily your thing. Is there a library, a place with books around?
Give me
I know Le Mans has quite a bit. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Give me a knowledge. I don't know which one. Intelligence.
You can do society.
Society. Yes, let's do that one. Society. I don't have my list of skills up right now.
Society. Ah, I got the good dice tonight.
Nice.
Are they your DM
Someone has
dice?
to.
They are not my DM dice, actually.
Oh.
I have
But they
special dice
soon
too.
will be.
No.
So that would be a... Why can't I think? 26.
Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, you definitely know that there's the library at Le Mans in the tower. but that one is strictly forbidden. That is not allowed for anyone to go. It's like the West Wing, or the East Wing, whichever wing that was. There's been so many
Less for cleaning.
So many movie references this session.
Welcome to the Chaos Bar.
Oh man, we have quite a few in ours too, but like it's just the two of us, so like it's not as fun. But you do know that there is another one that's near the city center that is kind of like a public library, and it has a couple of floors. It's a fairly large library that you can go to, and it's completely open to the public.
There's one near the center of the city, and it has huge library, and it has lots of different things. My favorite one is the picture section. You get to see all the pretty maps and everything. They even have pop-up books there.
Does they have what?
Pop-up books. Like you open them and they go, ah!
They yell.
They're really fun. Well, they don't yell. I yell at them because they surprise me. But yeah, there's tons of books down there.
Okay.
Here. I can show you.
Just lead the way.
Okay.
Here, you guys.
Clara, I'm gonna go to the library.
I'm gonna come out and find all my menfolk are gone.
I just want to know, what are the reactions of the people in the room when Flinty says he's going to the library?
There's definitely a few flabbergasted faces. Like, what? There's also a few that laugh. There's definitely a couple. There's one other dwarf there that just starts to guffaw, like, like that.
Do I hear all this commotion?
Yes, you would. Well, actually, give me a perception check. Let's see if you can hear it from the kitchen.
Probably not.
I love how Flinty's getting all the good rolls. This is nice.
And Az is getting 20s when it doesn't freaking matter.
Oh, there it is. That is a modded 20.
Okay.
Really?
You can hear a little bit of a commotion, but not like where you can understand what the words are. Just to be fair, a hero point for Flint as well. Oh, thank you.
He doesn't need them.
He doesn't need
Az
one.
needs them.
Az needed one about 5 minutes ago.
So he probably just got you another 500. That's why.
But yeah, no, thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Yes,
Stuff like,
thank
boy.
you.
That is yes. Use those hero points, or not hero points, but use those channel points to cash in for these heroes because their rolls are not with them tonight. So yeah, you can hear a bit of a commotion, but you can't really understand what's being said. Or oh my gosh, he's giving his dice a pep talk.
Well, hopefully it's better than the one he gave Anna.
Yeah. Too soon.
Please roll to see how good of a pep talk you give your dice.
Not that mean.
You need like a dice pillow. Like
Oh my gosh. Yes. But you don't understand exactly what's going on. You can just hear that there's a little bit of a commotion going on. You can decide whether or not that piques your interest enough to come out and say hi and see what's going on.
Not. It's the middle of lunch rush,
Okay, cool.
You're probably used to Flint yelling stuff at you all the time, and you're just like, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, like you do with your kids, and then you come back in and you see them eating ice cream, and you're like, "What are you doing? There's nothing you said I could."
Yeah, that happens.
That happens. So you guys head off to the library, and you do get there. It's a beautiful building, built in kind of the Greco-Roman style with the columns. It is a couple of stories. When you go through the arched entryway, you see a large. Oh, thanks, Snowflake.
Thanks,
I
Snowflake
love
boy.
that you're half asleep and you're hanging out with us. You're so cute. We love you. There's lots of hearts. There's a very large granite tabletop area that is like kind of like a check-in, check-out desk kind of thing. There's a couple of librarians hanging out there. They all wear the same distinct robes. They're white, kind of plated robes, plated as in like braided.
Okay.
Like fabric, so it kind of has these really beautiful Celtic like designs on it, which is definitely in a contrast to the style of the building itself. But they are very friendly, and they kind of greet you as you come in, and they're very soft spoken and are not individuals to speak a lot unless necessary. So they just kind of like look at you with expectant faces, like, what can we do for you today?
Yes.
It's the library. Shh.
Just,
Yes, my friend Az is looking for a book. My friend Az is looking for a book.
Just, I got it, Flinty. I got it.
Oh, okay.
I'm wanting to see if you have any sections that might have books on the realms, on the other ones. Specifically, I'm looking for the Boneyard.
Yes, of course. And this she's very petite. You don't realize how small she is until she comes off of her little chair and comes around the corner. She's probably 4'8". She's very, very little. And correct me if I am wrong, but that is about the same size as you, Flint.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So you guys are kind of like right on that same level, but she is not a dwarf. But you can tell that she definitely has gnomish heritage in her background, which has made her so very short. So she walks surprisingly fast for such little legs, but they toddles straight back up a flight of stairs. She doesn't turn around to make sure you guys are following. She just assumes that you are following.
Oh, I hate stairs. Oh.
And she goes up
Good thing you didn't miss leg day.
She gets you up to the second floor, and you go down a few of the aisles, and she presents a section of the library, and it's like probably like half of a row that is all dedicated to books on the planes and on the different elements within the planes, and kind of like everything in general with that. And then she does kind of give you one section that is specifically on the boneyard itself, but you see that kind of in comparison to all of the other plain books, it's kind of small. And there's one section or one book in particular that is quite thick. That does just have like 3 bones on the side of it, and that's all. There's no other distinguishing marks.
A fat book is going to grab his attention. Is this like a tome? Like,
yeah, it's huge. It's possibly a tome of the Chaos Bard, but you never know.
As pulls the book out, and then looks to find somewhere to put it down so he can open up and begin to read from this tome.
Okay. They're just branching off just aside a little bit, kind of like how in university libraries there will be like the little individual spaces to sit. There's a row of them just against the wall, so you can go pick wherever.
So Az goes, plops it down, looks over to Flinty. I think the picture books are probably somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, like, I once made a model plane one time. It was for school. It was the plane of air that I made. What I did is I got a piece of board, and then I got a fan, and I just waved it. I got an A plus on it.
Brilliant.
It was amazing.
That is brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know my
I
stuff.
thought you were going to talk about airplanes.
That is what I was hinting at.
So for the
So I'm kind of an expert on planes,
Our viewers at home, Y'all's know I don't give inspiration pretty much ever. I never give hero points out pretty much ever. I'm going to give you, Flint, a hero point for that.
Yeah.
Because you have been such an unending source of entertainment since we started this session. Oh my gosh.
The GM forgets she can't award the hero points.
I don't forget.
I do the same thing in our podcast when we play. I forget that I can do stuff like that too.
You can give inspiration and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
You're like, that's a thing that you can do. I forget. But so I'm going to give you a hero point because, yeah. That's
Awesome.
So Flinty has 2 hero
You've
points.
made my cheeks hurt.
Woo! Okay.
Cool. Okay, so
yeah, I'm kind of a expert on planes if you need to ask any questions.
Yes, well, I will remember that.
Good. Well, I'll just be right over here then.
And so Az is going to pull open the book and he's going to begin to read.
okay.
Yes.
The book itself, it goes into a fair amount of detail of the first world, which for our D&D players, that is the equivalent of the Fey realm in Pathfinder. So it goes into a fairly large, detailed history of what is known about the first world and its creation.
So as reads that beginning part, and like with most books, when you know, oh, that's way earlier than I want, he then sticks his thumb like a third of the way through, and then flops.
Okay. A third of the way through. So hold on a second.
Now I
to
gotta
make
flip
things
through the mind page.
Okay, so so that would be past all of the information about the first world, and it would go into the creation of the current material plane that this Earth is on, and it's going to go into the known mechanics of the River of Souls itself, and what is known about Pharasma and her judgments. But a lot of it's shrouded in mystery. It's theoretical.
Skip.
Okay, so we're moving on again. Okay.
Just sliding big chunks, like
Yeah, like when you have a giant dictionary and you just start flipping pages. Okay, so how far into the book are you now?
He's wanting to get past the history lessons.
Okay, to what? Like, what are you looking for specifically?
I'm looking for information
Their
on
table
the
of contents.
boneyard.
on the actual boneyard.
On the actual boneyard.
Okay, so
What's conditions there? What type of are there creatures there? Are there things like
so the information, so you finally get to the place that you're looking for, which is about probably like 3/4 of an inch away from the end of the book.
There we go.
The section that is on the actual boneyard is very minimal. There's not very much known about what the boneyard consists of. There's significant information about the River of Souls, but the actual boneyard is kind of a mystery that has been kept very hush-hush because those who go into the boneyard very rarely come back out, and any of the servants of Pharasma are very hesitant to actually share that information with other people. There are a few things that are known. One, that there are creatures in the boneyard that are servants of Pharasma and are there to keep it safe. They are very suspicious, or like they are very suspicious of anyone and anything that is not someone that they have encountered before. However, there are no descriptions of what these creatures are. There are these creatures that are there that act as guards. There are the psychopops that are there that run errands for Pharasma. There are also the Morgans that will do the same types of things, but there is a hierarchy of the different individuals within it. The the realm itself is a like physical realm. Like when you go into the realm itself, it is physical. It's not like the astral plane where everything's kind of wishy-washy and you can kind of power of thought, whatnot. But it's something that does have physicality. So if you do ever go into the realm, you would need to have supplies with you. There is kind of a warning at the end of it of this very short section that says, most of the information that we have is speculation. It is based off of clues that have been given by the Dustwalkers, of the very little that they remember from being in the Boneyard and being ghosts or spirits. And then information that has been given through time from the Morgans and from the psychopops who have visited the material plane itself.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions? The GM is a wealth of knowledge right now.
Okay. What's the temperature like there? Like, is it,
It's moderate.
moderate? Okay.
Need to bring a jacket. Jacket.
Average yearly rainfall. Boneyard.
There is no rainfall.
Is
in
there
the
an
Boneyard.
almanac? Where's the?
There is no almanac in the Boneyard because there is no sun.
This is true.
There is no sun. There is no moon. There are no stars.
All right. That I think is all that I was looking for. So yeah, that gave him a good idea. Definitely needs to prepare for the journey. This might take a while.
Yeah. I will say that one thing in that section as well did talk about the time flow, and that there is not a set amount of time that will pass in one realm that passes in the other, because the Boneyard is out of time and space. However, you can try and gauge the time based on it's like the position that the material plane is from the Boneyard itself.
How far away they are from each other.
Yeah, so you can kind of gauge how much time is going to pass. The closer that the Boneyard is to the material plane, which does happen because it does fluctuate, is the time is going to be about the same if it's very close. If it is farther away, the time in the Boneyard will move faster than the time on Earth.
Okay. And there is no sun, but there is a moon. In the Boneyard.
That's true. There is a moon because, well, it's not really the moon though. It's Pharasma's psychotic brother who wants to destroy everything.
Yeah, Grogan.
So it's not really a moon. Anyway, so that is
Just a place where the sun don't shine.
Yep, pretty much.
exactly.
So, okay, Azul slams the book, the tome shut, leaves it on the table.
There's somebody like a little bit farther down that just like turns and is like, "What the frick, dude?"
Just like the heavy, like it didn't slam, but it's like you know how tomes close.
I know when they're really big, they just go boom, boom, and dust flies up everywhere.
And then I'll look around for if I can see anyone that's like looks anyone who has like that either looks young or has that parent look.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Can I take that?
If you really want to.
That was a 16, so that'd
Yeah,
be a
sure.
32.
Let's go with it. 32. Okay. There's like not really anybody. There's like that one person that like startled and like looked at you, but there aren't like a lot of people in that lineup. You have to move into the main thoroughfare of the library to see anybody, but you do see what looks to be like a mom with her kid like wandering through. I mean, the kid's a toddler, so probably she's like 3 years old.
Excuse me, madam.
She's like, yes.
Do you know where the picture books are here in the library?
Oh, yes, of course. They are down on the first floor. You go like 3 or 4 aisles down, and then all the way to the back, you will see there is a very colorful wall, and I believe the tree of life is depicted on the wall itself, and it actually has hanging fruit for the little children. Did you lose your child?
No, just a friend is down there, I'm sure. You're from Ravenel.
I am. How would you know?
As the accent, I came from there recently.
Oh yes, I grew up in Ravenel until I was like 14, 15 years old. And then my entire family was brought here. What were you doing in Ravenel?
I was living there in the services de Domina.
The Domina?
Yeah.
That is very impressive. We do not have many who have direct dealings with her that end up in the city of promise. Are you here for always? I'm sorry. That is so rude of me.
It's no problem. Yeah, I was summoned by Makala and
Mancala? Do you mean Mancare?
yeah, Zach, the dragon thingy.
Magari!
And I hear that voice. Come on, like, I think I know where my friend is. Thank you.
Goodbye.
And I follow where I heard that
just
call.
went through the whole library. God.
It's like the family whistle. Like we have a family whistle when we can't find each other in the store.
Can I follow the sound of that yell to find him?
Flinty,
Yeah.
give me a performance check. And give me an intelligence check.
Intelligence, not perception. I guess wouldn't that be survival?
So, yeah, actually, that would be survival.
Actually, I only
Okay.
have a 3 in that, so it's 20, dirty 20.
Okay, Flint.
Okay, 28.
Okay. He rolled high enough for you to be able to find him. So yes, it's loud enough that it echoes, it like reverberates through the marble hall.
I just follow the line of people who are staring at him because he just yelled this out in the library. I'm like, there he is.
Yeah. And you find him actually sitting in front of all of the picture books, and there is a giant statue of the golden dragon Mancare itself, and he is like kind of perched himself between the two claws that are on the ground, and just like snuggled into Mancare.
With a little picture book in front.
Yeah,
showing
little
him the
book.
pictures.
Like the pop-ups. You're like, ooh!
Look! It's you!
For our viewers, Flinty is not a child.
He's a full-grown dwarf.
All the other children are like patiently waiting in their turn.
Just sit in Mancare's lap.
Got it. It's wait your turn.
Flinty, I believe it's time to go.
Yeah. Okay, let me go put this book back.
Of course, yes.
And he just pats the claw. I'll see you next time, Mancare. And then he goes and puts the book back.
And there's like that line of kids, and they all start clamoring to go get on it after you leave it. Awesome. Okay. All right. So as you head out of the library, we're actually gonna end our session there right now.
End on a high note.
Woo!
Woohoo! So everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight for this session of Party of Two. We're joined, just as a reminder, by our good friends at Tomes of the Chaos Bard, Abby and David. You can hear their show on all of the major podcast platforms. They just hit a huge milestone of over 10,000 downloads, which is absolutely amazing. Go check them out. They are fantastic. They run a D&D 5e homebrewed campaign, which is awesome.
With Original music.
With original music, yes, which is just awesome. So,
That was a sample, by the way.
apparently,
That's what Ringo.
I'm like, okay, so it's awesome.
Apparently, my Friday alarm to go
Maybe
pick up a
next time we'll
child
sing
is
a
the wrong-
song.
There we go.
Like next time, yes, we should do a sample next time if you guys have like a minute or something of your show that you want to like preview. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back on Monday night with Tabletop Terrain Talks and TTRPG news and our brand new segment, Community Announcements, where if you have any announcements for the community of TTRPG, please let us know. And we will put it on our community board where we will talk about whatever your announcement is. We want to give back to the community, and we also want to give as many creators as much reach as possible. So if you have anything that you would like to share with us, please reach out to us on Twitter, or you can find us at partyoftworpg@gmail.com. You can shoot us an email there. I think that's all we've got for the night. So thank you so much for joining us. And I've got to wait until Weston is back up so we can actually end the stream.
We're gonna see if there's someone we can.
Oh, are we raiding somebody?
Yes, this night.
Let's see if there's someone we can raid.
Okay, we're going to go see if there's anybody that we can raid. So I just want to tell you guys a little bit more about community announcements. It is replacing what was previously called Indie Roundup. I was realizing that the Indie Roundup thing wasn't really working because people didn't seem super excited about it, and it was more of a thing for me, I guess. So we've started the community announcements where if you have anything to announce, if you have a Kickstarter, if you have a new show starting, if you have a new homebrew that you're releasing, anything like that is TTRPG related, please just reach out to me and we will talk about it on our show in the TTRPG news segment. So
we can raid Critical Role.
We're not raiding Critical Role.
Lost Tribes Gaming.
Okay, that works. Jeez, I'm like, we're gonna freaking raiding
We're
Critical
gonna go ahead
Role.
and-
I love Critical Role, you guys, but we're
Ooh,
not raiding Critical Role.
They're a Vampire the Masquerade.
Ooh, VTM.
Let's go
Love that.
raid
Let's
a
go raid them.
VTM.
Okay, guys. Loves and jazz, and remember,
Bye.
it only takes two. Good night. Mwah.
Maybe.
Goodbye.
We're still not really sure how to raid
And
people.
there.
Raid.
Did you raid? Oh, yep. There's me kissing the screen. Oh my gosh, you guys. I just want you to be permanent members of our show from now on.
I'll just be the brunt of
goodness.
everyone's joke. You really just want David.
No, that is not true.
You're the straight person.
You're the straight to his funny, but you're also like, you're going to be like the check-in person. Because when Anna comes back, she's going to need some help.
Gonna need some support.
You guys don't even know what
Are
she's
we
going.
raiding or are we still live? I can't.
I
tell.
don't know. It looks like we're still live.
Hi, everybody.
You guys, we can't figure out how to bloody freaking rate anybody. We never do this right. Just hit stop, because you